A pleasant morning to each and everyone. Welcome again to our subject. Let us go again to the review on basic concepts of accounting. So for this day, our lesson is all about types of major accounts. And these are the different learning competencies that we can learn from this lesson. Number one, discuss the five major accounts. Number two, cite examples of each type of account. Number three, prepare a chart of accounts. So let us go to the first learning competency, the account. Okay. So an account is a basic storage of information in accounting. It is a record of the increases and decreases in a specific item of asset, liability, equity, income, or expense. So in every account of each five major accounts, we have an account where we can store the different effects of the transactions. Okay, so the T account, the CPS account, on the upper portion is the account title. On the right side is the credit, and on the left side is the debit. Debit is also called as value received, and credit is also called as value parted with. The difference between the two will be the balance of that account. Then the amount, if total debits exceed total credits, the account has a debit balance. If total credits exceed total debits, the account has a credit balance. What are the five major accounts? Assets, liabilities, equity, income, and expenses. So I will repeat again the different definitions of these five major accounts, but we already tackled the definitions of these five major accounts. So uh, for you again to be refreshed with the different accounts. Assets are the resources you control that have resulted from past events and can provide you with economic benefits. So you have the control of that one, and from that ari-arian magkakaroon po tayo ng benepisyo po. Liabilities are your present obligations that have resulted from past events and can require you to give up economic resources when settling them. So kung babayaran mo, then meron ka pong isa-sacrifice kasi nga dapat mong bayaran ang dapat na gagawin because that is your obligation. Equity is assets minus liabilities. After deducting liabilities from assets, you have an equity. Income are increases in economic benefits during the period in the form of inflows or enhancement of assets or decreases of liabilities that result in increases in equity other than those relating to investments by the business owners. Expenses are decreases in economic benefits during the period in the form of outflows or depletions of assets or increases of liabilities that result in decreases in equity other than those relating to distributions to the business owners. So these are the different classifications of the five major accounts. It can be a balance sheet account, it can be an income statement account. And these are the different balance sheet accounts: assets, liabilities, and equity. And these are the income statement accounts: income and expenses. I hope you cannot forget the different classifications of the five major accounts para mapadali pong paggawa po natin ng financial statements. Chart of accounts. A chart of accounts is a list of all the accounts used by the business. Ito pong mga ginagamit na mga accounts ng ating negosyo. So makikita po natin sa chart of accounts. Common account titles po. Ayan. Mostly ito yung mga accounts na makikita po natin sa chart of accounts. Assets, cash, accounts receivable, allowance for bad debts, notes receivable, prepaid supplies, prepaid rent, prepaid insurance, land, building, accumulated depreciation, building equipment, accumulated depreciation, equipment. Sir, ano po yung A from to L? So cash, pera, accounts receivable, utang po yan. Allowance for bad debts po, may tendency ng utang ay hindi po masisingil. And that is allowance for bad debts. Notes receivable po, utang po yan, pero more formal compares kay accounts receivable. May kasulatan po siya. Prepaid supplies, So mga supplies na hindi pa nagagamit. Prepaid rent po, advance rent payment po yan. Prepaid insurance, hindi pa po nagagamit na insurance po yan. Land, lupa, building, gusali po. Ang gusali po ay lumuluma, accumulated depreciation ang tawag sa kanya po, yung mga naipon na pagkaluma po niya. Equipment and accumulated equipment po. Balance sheet accounts, liabilities, accounts payable, notes payable, interest payable, salaries payable, utilities payable, unearned revenue like that. So accounts payable po, the account which is vice versa of accounts receivable. Utang po yan. Ang may utang ngayon naman po ay tayo po. Kanina po ay silang may utang, customers. Notes payable, utang naman po yan. Utang natin na mas formal lang po compared kay accounts payable. Interest payable, interest po, utang po yan kapag umutang po tayo. Salaries payable po, utang natin sa mga empleyado po na hindi pa nababayaran. Utilities payable po like electricity, like that is a part of utilities po. Unearned, hindi pa po naiipon. Like for example po, nagbayad ng customer pero hindi pa po natin nagagawa ang dapat nating gawin. That is an unearned, which is part of the liabilities po. Equity, owner's capital, owner's drawings. Yung ating mga investments, part po yan ng owner's capital. Drawings, kapag po tayo ay nag-withdraw po. Income statement accounts, income, service fees, sales, interest, income, gains. So ano po yung service fees po? Kita po natin sa pamamagitan ng ating pag-service po. Like for example, using our skills. Sales, yung mga ibinibenta po natin, kita po natin from our binibenta. Interest, income, kumita po yung ating pera. For example po, sa bangko. So that is an example po of interest income po. Gains naman po. Is there any difference between income and gains? Meron po guys. For ordinary activity po, income po yon. For gains naman, yung hindi po natin parating gawain sa pagninegosyo na tayo po ay kumikita. For example po, tayo po ay nagbebenta ng what else po? Fishball, like that. Then, may tendency na ang ating ginagamit na bike ay pasira na. So, instead na gamitin mo pa, ibibenta mo po. And there's a tendency na meron kang gain po. Pero ang binibenta mo talaga ay mga pagkain like fishball. So, hindi po siya parati ang binibenta mo po. So, that is classified as gain po. Now, let's go to the income statement accounts under expenses. Cost of sales, freight out, salaries expense, rent expense, utilities expense, supplies expense, bad debt expense, depreciation expense, advertising expense, insurance expense, taxes and licenses, transportation and travel expense, interest expense, miscellaneous expense, losses. So, lahat po ba ng may word na expense na huli po ay magiging part ng expense po? Hindi po guys. Example po niyan ay prepaid expense. Okay. So what do you mean by cost of sales or cost of goods sold? Yan po yung cost ng ibinenta mo po. Once na naibenta kasi magiging part po siya ng expenses and that is called as cost of sales or cost of goods sold. Freight out, delivery expense po yan. May tendency po ba ng delivery or what I mean transportation ay magiging part ng asset? Yes, guys. Freight in naman pong tawag po doon. So I know you know already what I mean by salaries po. Rent, utilities, supplies na gamit na po yan. Bad debt, hindi po nasisingil po yan. Yung may tendency po na hindi po masingil po. Yes po, hindi rin po masisingil. May tendency po. What else po? Depreciation, check. Yes po, may tendency and meron pong hindi na masisingil from that bad debt expense po. Ayan, sa mga nagtatanong po. Advertising, insurance, taxes and licenses, transportation, travel, interest, miscellaneous losses. So alam nyo na po yung mga yan. Okay, so I hope matatandaan nyo pa rin po yan if ever man lumabas po sa ating exam po. Okay? Ayan. So, naulit lang for you to refresh again with the different accounts na pwedeng gamitin under the expenses po. So I hope you've learned something about our lesson for this day, and any question you can comment down so that I can reply with your inquiries. And afterwards, I will send you the activities po involving our discussion for this day. So that ends our lesson for this day. Again, thank you for attending and listening to our lesson po. Thank you and God bless.